But let's look at the 9 emotions by going back in time to when you were little children. Of the 9 emotions, let's go with the first one. When a dancer learns traditional dances, the expression is all in the eyes and then in the hands and body movement. There is a history I realized to this. It's not just Indian traditional dance. When you go around the world, you'll see Japanese learned it, Koreans learned it, Chinese, royal households learned it. How many of you actually saw the movie Grace of Monaco, acted by Nicole Kidman? Do you remember when it gets to the stage where she has to behave like a queen and she's a film star from Hollywood? What do they tell her? Her handlers tell her that you have to practice this facial expressions. You can't just open your mouth and blurt out whatever you want to. Everything has to be in your expression. And you must practice so that you get it right. Never give the game away. So, can you imagine? Women through the ages were already shackled and told little girls should be seen and not heard. I was told that. I was this chatterbox, happy, sunny side up child. And all the time I was told, Anusha, zip it. Little girls should be seen and not heard. Well, we are being heard, aren't we? So there we go. There's always places you can go where people will hear you out and will listen to you and will, engage with you and communicate. But women have always been put down. It's been going on since the beginning of time. So therefore, expression became very important. So whether it is an erotic face because it's someone you are trying to attract to be your lover, or whether it's a comical face because you're just filled with mirth, right? Or whether it's rage and it represents anger because you are unleashing your anger through that feeling of rage, which is number 3. Or it could be wonder, being, expressing how marvelous something is. And that's really, the wonder of wonders, miracle of miracles kind of situation. It could be viram, which is to be heroic. And that's to show how courageous and how energetic you are. And then you have disgust, which is bibatsam, something so odious, something so hideous, something so outrageous. Then you have Vainakam, which is terror. Terror that brings out the fear in you. And everyone has experienced that. We have Karunayam, which is pathos or the state of sorrow, deep sorrow. Whether it's anguish, whether it's a loss, it's sorrow. And finally, Shantam, which is peace, or to be a Shanta Baba. Now, there's no right or wrong with all these emotions, right? We are human. Even animals experience it. Those of you who work with plants will know that even plants experience it. I personally experienced my plants because I work very closely with my pets and with the plants in my garden, with the trees. I'm a believer in talking to animals, talking to trees, talking to plants. I even sing to them. And I can tell you that they will respond likewise. If they didn't like my songs, the flowers ain't coming out anytime soon. If I got the songs right for the particular plant, I'll see a lot of flowers. I'll see lots of new shoots. So who said that plants don't have feelings, right? Right. So that's why we women, we can relate to nature. We can relate to animals. We can relate to Mother Earth. We relate to everything. Yeah. Because we actually feel these emotions. So this is a segment of creating awareness and maybe even awareness from within you. It's a means to be more discerning, to be able to rationalize and realize what causes us to stir up these specific emotions. And finally, when we realize what is the trigger, because we are all triggered, at the end of the day, things trigger us. Things trigger us to be so ecstatic. Things trigger us, situations happen to trigger deep sorrow. Um, Something you see on CNN or BBC or, whatever channel that you love to watch on television can trigger disgust, can trigger anger, can trigger fear, right? You could just walk along the beach somewhere and you think you've gone to a perfect holiday in Bali, and then something happens and some other emotions creep in that you never thought you'd experience while you're on holiday. So, how do one manage these emotions?